coconut things. What is it?
So, so have you heard? So you know this brand called Vita Coco, right? Vita
Oh
Coco or
yeah,
Vita
yeah,
Coco.
right. Yeah.
So that brand, I don't know if it's that brand or some other brand. They have like some flakes of coconut in the water. So that's really like love that stuff.
Oh, you
Doesn't
do? You
compare,
like to drink it?
doesn't yeah, doesn't
Yeah,
compare to
yeah.
the real coconut, actual coconut water, but
Coconut water, but yeah,
it's close enough.
it's
Yeah, it just feels like it's water with some kind of flavor put in
yeah,
it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And they
Yeah,
put a couple pieces of coconut and all right, ship it out, Louis. Get it out of here. You
yeah.
know,
yeah.
I do miss having like natural coconut water. I like it a lot. Like in
In
India, you
India,
will find a lot of street
yeah,
vendors selling coconuts.
all the time, right?
all the
Yeah,
time, yeah. Street
especially in
side
the
on.
summer, it goes up a lot more. So
Yeah, in the summer, I remember, we used to take long highway drives, and then on the side, you can just stop anywhere on the road, and there'll be like a guy selling coconut water. Amazing. So just drink and continue. Yeah.
And now it's become this big thing, this huge industry, and
yeah,
Americans are convinced that they're just getting so much nutrition and hydration because I'm drinking
Yeah.
coconut water.
Yeah.
I
It's,
mean they're
have you,
actually not they're not wrong. It does give a lot of especially with like
but,
inflammation and everything. It does help a lot.
but do you think it's the same with like this white
Not
cocoa
with this
thing?
one. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if this
Yeah,
one has that
exactly.
same
Yeah.
effect. Yeah,
It's sugar
Let's be
probably.
honest. No,
yeah,
let's be honest. It's probably got mouse piss in it, and a couple of fucking wood shavings that they painted white.
10
Yeah,
cups of sugar. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, because
yeah.
yeah.
It
Come on,
doesn't
man.
taste like the natural one for sure.
No, not at all. Not at all. Definitely not. So
Have you
we're
heard of,
missing our
yeah.
friend. Should we say a little prayer that he may show up?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Should we?
1 minute silence for the fallen.
1 minute? That's a little
What?
long. Let's
That's a long.
let's let's go. Let's do 5 seconds of silence. Okay. Who'd like to lead us in this 5 second silence?
All of us, I
All
guess.
of us. Yes, Satya's already gone into a deep meditative trance. Okay. 5 seconds of
Think
silence for him. Now. Fuck that motherfucker. All
that's it.
right.
That's it.
Anyway.
He had to make this trip to New York in the last, I don't know when he decided it, but he needed to do it, I guess.
He needed to do it, yeah, because you know what? They just want to up the COVID risk. That's all. Just wants to get it all the COVID on him from everywhere.
Yeah, that's probably
Have
what
you
it is.
guys been vaccinated yet?
No,
I got
not
my
me.
first dose last Saturday. Yeah, and my mom got her first dose also, so we're gonna go for the next one in a couple of weeks.
Satya?
Yeah,
No, Sweden, we still can't, unless like if it's like 60 plus or something, or if you're working in the hospitals or,
doesn't
uh,
matter.
no, no, those guys can get the vaccine.
Yeah, yeah. But does it matter for you guys? Doesn't matter, right? Anyway, like people are not even
Yeah,
talking to each
exactly.
other.
Yeah, I can still move about like normal, so it's okay. It's not stopping you from doing
It's not,
anything.
they not do
No,
anything.
he
Yeah.
no Satya, he said it doesn't matter because people aren't talking to each other anyway.
Anyway, yeah, it's like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
There's no droplet transmission. The Swedes, yeah. Last time we talked on when you guys had me on your show, we talked about the
yeah.
Swedes and how remarkably just how would you describe it, Satya? You said it very nicely.
uh, I
You
mean,
gave an anecdote about the 10 feet thing. You gave a
yeah,
nice,
yeah. The joke was that like once Swedes can't wait for the COVID to end so that they can get back to their 10 feet of social distancing instead of 6 feet of social distancing.
nice.
I mean, come
Yeah,
on, man. Yeah.
They have a lot of
yeah,
these jokes, especially the place where I live. They have a lot of these like puns and wordplay and all that, and that's their sense of humor. This place has that, is known for that. So they'll have a lot of such jokes over here, which I don't even understand, and sometimes even when I understand, I'm just like, okay.
no, okay.
I
You
feel
don't
like
fake laugh?
Satya spends a good part of his day every day in Sweden going, the fuck am I doing here? Who the fuck are these people? Why
Yeah,
the fuck did I come here? I'm Indian. Why am I in the goddamn snow and ice?
No,
What am I doing? I
I
can't eat
like
any more
joking about the
fish.
place, but in some respects, it's actually there are some really cool things about this place.
like what?
Uh, I mean, the summer vacation. That's one
Yeah,
thing that I I love about this place. The fact that we can take like 4 to 5 weeks off in the summer and just like relax.
Apart from your
That's
regular like work days and everything?
They have a
Yeah, yeah,
5-week, 4 to 5 week
Yeah.
vacation. mandatory.
Wow.
Norwegians have the same thing. And it's just,
Yeah.
if you need to talk or do business with the Norwegians during summer,
yeah, exactly.
good
Oh.
luck. Yeah,
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
luck.
So
'cause
everything
they're
slows
freezing their
down
ass off.
during
Yeah.
that 4 to 5 weeks, and it's like that's one thing that especially except like a few European countries, no other place offers that, and that's like one of the best things about this place. And of course, like if for families, if you have kids and all that, that's something that the parental leaves and all of those are pretty amazing. So there are some pretty awesome things about this place, but yeah, it comes at a cost.
11 months of 11 months of fucking just icy distant silence,
Yeah.
monosyllabic grunts,
Yeah.
pickled fish and potatoes, and then you get 5 fucking weeks of glory, baby. Yeah.
And then a lot of what? Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Oh.
And the summer, like right now, it's beginning to get warm. It's like the best time because the temperature is like the most optimum temperature, like perfect vacation temperature.
I'm hearing that you all take your clothes off and run through the streets naked. That's what I think you guys aren't saying. In Norway, in Sweden, in Denmark during the summertime.
Well,
yeah, you're going to deny it, but I think you guys, there's a lot of fucking happen on the street. I think there's a
No,
lot
but
of sex out in the
how-
open.
No.
Yeah.
First of all, I have to clarify. How many clothes do you mean? Because
Yeah,
yes,
see, now you're trying to split the atom. Yeah. See, I think I'm onto it. I'm on. Look at the
You
smile
knew
on
it.
his face. Yeah.
He enjoyed. That's what he's looking forward to more than the heat. The heat of the
5
summer.
weeks
Yeah.
of debauchery. Just
Yes.
everyone's kissing and sucking and fucking and grabbing and squeezing. And then 11 months of, I don't know,
I'm
you
just
keep your
imagining
distance.
that. I'm just imagining that right now. It doesn't sound so bad, but no, yeah, it doesn't. That's not the truth.
That's
Yeah.
not the truth.
You keep denying. You go right ahead and keep denying, Satya. You go right ahead and deny. Yeah, I get it. I understand. So, gentlemen, obviously, anyone who's listening to this, you're in Sweden, and I forgot the city you're in again. You're in
Gothenburg.
That's what I said. And I mean, you guys always act like I didn't say it. I don't understand why you got to be weird like that.
We never said anything. We just laughed.
Yeah. And then Ram, you were in.
I'm in. You know where it
the
is.
river
Cleveland.
town known as Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, city of beauty.
I'd ask you to define beauty and then maybe up your standards.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, 100% fair enough. Yeah, we're just getting warmed up. You guys have known each other for how long now?
I would say 14 years.
14 years.
12 to 14 years would be approximatly. Yeah, that's right.
What do you mean,
Okay.
12 to 14 years. 14 years since 2000.
14, okay, sorry. 14 years.
Don't fuck with Satya.
Sorry.
Don't fuck with.
Don't fuck with the
math.
numbers. That's
truth
right. Don't
teller.
fuck with the math. Yeah. Have a little respect,
sorry.
all right, Ram?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Sorry.
Jesus. Yeah.
14 years.
So when we speak, in the lower corner of the screen, it pops up who's speaking. So in your email, where did that email handle come from? Because, at first I'm like, what is going on? And then when we got on and talked on your show, you're like, yeah, I'm Ram and this is Satya. And then Abhi, I'm Abhi. And I'm like,
Abhi.
Okay. I'm like, what the fuck is Edomapichi? What is
There's
what is that? Do you play like Pokemon? Is that what it is?
No.
Actually, it could be a good Pokemon.
It's a Pokemon card.
But it's in our language, in Telugu, it actually means
Just like leave us to our madness. We know we're being silly or stupid or whatever, but let us be.
It literally
That's
means
way too long. You need to anglicize that for all these white people.
It literally means just our silliness, just our stupidity.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
Nice. So I'm just on it. It's no wonder that we found each other and we're talking. I think I fit. I'm like an honorary member, I hope. If not, I just made myself one. Yeah.
By this time, yeah, we would gladly induct you into that the
Into
Hall
the
of
Hall
Fame.
of Edamapichi, yeah.
Edo
How do you say it? How do you say it?
Edo ma pichi.
Edamapichi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a motherfucker. All right.
It's actually 3 words, Edo, Ma, and Pichi. It's just that Google, it asks for a first name and a last name. So Edo Ma became the
Edamapichi.
first name.
Yeah.
Edamapichi. Yeah, Edoma. Yeah, that I was trying to figure out what that meant. Well, there you go. Like I was ever going to figure it out, but I was like, there's
Yeah,
got
it's
to be
hard.
some rhyme or reason to this. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Initially, we wanted to make it like a podcast. We were trying to speak in our native language, but yeah, we just thought English would give us like we can talk to more different kinds of people, and we don't have to limit ourselves to people from that speak our language. So we should have taken that decision before we named the email account. But yeah, that was a mistake.
Pichi is like a production house, and Vaguely Speaking is like the actual podcast. We're gonna have more
How did
under
you
that.
come up with vaguely speaking? Well, let me back up for people who don't understand, who are just listening to this. So you guys are engineers.
Yes,
That's right.
Okay.
We are engineers.
What type of an engineer are you?
I was a mechanical engineer. Now I'm a business analyst, business intelligence analyst.
Okay. Satya?
I am a mechanical engineer, but I do software development for autonomous vehicles, so driverless vehicles and all that. So it's like a mixture of mechanical, automotive, and software engineering.
Awesome. My name's Dara. I'm an actor, but sometimes I like to dance with my body oiled on the sand. Sounds like Tinder profiles. Anyway, before this gets any more weird, I told you I'm going to remember the group. So 2 engineers. Now, the first thing when we talked last time, when you guys had me on the show, and Abhi was there, but Abhi's too cool for us, so he can't be. Again, whatever. Fuck you, Abhi. We were talking about the fact that you guys were in a podcast, and I'm thinking to myself, why are 3 engineers having a podcast, and why would 3 engineers call it Vaguely Speaking?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we initially we wanted something cool, and we were trying to get to like a really nice podcast name, and we talked, and somehow we realized that we wanted to talk about way too many things, and it's just like the kind of things we talk about range from like technology to politics to religion, history, everything. So we couldn't restrict ourselves to just being engineers, and we were like, you know what we do best is we speak vaguely. So that's how we got Vaguely Speaking.
I think of the 3 of us, except I mean, I think we all have like a sort of mild ADHD. And of the 3, I would say Ram is he is the one I can say he doesn't have ADHD, but I'm pretty sure that me and Aviram, we have ADHD. So we like
totally have
jumping
ADHD,
between different topics. So, and we try to talk as much as possible about a lot of topics, but and the reason for Vaguely Speaking was that we don't want to claim to be experts on anything, because that would put a lot of pressure on us to claim some sort of confidence on what we are saying and back it up with a lot of other data which we don't have any interest in doing. So
now we can just talk bullshit, and we don't have to prove ourselves that we are right. We can just say stuff.
Exactly. So it was just a simpler proposition.
Do you guys understand the internet? I mean, yeah.
Exactly.
What the fuck? We don't have to be an expert. There are 6-year-olds who have YouTube channels that buy stuff. Now they do, but in the beginning, their mommy and their friends and their friends' mommies bought them packages, and they fucking parents would film them opening the package up. They're making $6 million a year. What are they an expert on?
Yeah, that's
shitting their
that's
pants
true.
And opening packages.
We look at them and we're like, yeah, what are we doing sometimes? But then,
Can I just a little bit of honesty here?
Yeah.
I look at some of these cats who have come up through the YouTube channels, and back when Vine was a thing, and then now TikTok, and TikTok's going to flame out in a little bit. It'll be something else. It's that's how it is. But some of these, I call them kids because they are. and God bless them. But there's then also that bitter part of me, like, are you fucking kidding me? You got a show, you got a movie with you have like that much talent. It's just, it's unbelievable. But then at the same time, it's like, there are no rules. There's you don't have to be an expert. Invite yourself to the party. This is, generally broad strokes speaking, since you guys are fucking engineers judging me right now. But no, you are. I know you are. I know you are.
No,
you just keep denying, Satya. I can see it in your eyes. Your lips are saying no, but your eyes are going, that fucking.
No, I was going to say something that supports your point of view.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I was saying that like some of these shows, or I don't know if I've seen movies, but some of the shows done by people who got big in YouTube, I find them like really bad.
They are. They're spectacularly bad, and I feel a little mean-spirited for saying it, but then that's a judgment call. I'm just calling it like it is. Like, they don't have any fucking talent. I've worked with some of these guys and some of these girls, and YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Vines. I keep bringing that up because that's where it started. But it's broad comedy. It's the broadest comedy, and you can make these videos where everybody's mugging it up. Instead of you walk in and go, "Hey, how's it going?" I come and I go, "Hey, Satya, how's it going?"
Yeah.
You just
yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
You just exactly.
No, because I do know some of the I think YouTubers or Instagram accounts that at least they have these kind
That's
of
fucking like 70
in
million
your
accounts
face.
I just imitated.
Yeah.
Or they take one bullshit piss thin concept. I know. I'll come home and I'll see you and another girl making out. But when you guys unlock, it'll be Joe next door, and his hair looks long. He looks like a girl from the back. And they shoot the video, and people are like, "You guys are so amazing." And they get 40,000 likes. And then it still kind of goes on a little bit today, but not so much. They've learned their lesson, I like to think. The network executives, who are also very young, make a decision based on an algorithm which is played with, right? It's gamed. It's stacked in a, it's not an accurate portrayal. You as engineers can appreciate that angle. And so they'll see somebody has 20 million followers. Half of the fuckers are fake and bots. Right?
Yeah.
Probably, let's be honest, probably three-quarters of those people are bots.
We are Indians, so we know about that aspect.
Oh, we actually have actual people who work as bots.
Clickbait farms and all that.
Click farms. So
actually, you guys aren't engineers. You're both doing fucking work like that, right?
That's what we do with our mouse on the side. We're like,
wait a minute, I recognize your voice, Satya. Didn't you call me up and ask me about my credit card?
Absolutely, yeah.
What an asshole, right? I'm sorry, dude. I'm
just steal your credit card from you.
Calling you from the IRS.
Yeah, but
just calling you from the IRS.
Hello, I'm calling you from the IRS. I love those phone calls.
Did you hear about the guy who started a YouTube channel just to scam the scammers? And that he has his own YouTube channel. That guy's great. I forgot his name. But
I think he was a hacker, right?
I think he's a hacker,
The guy that I see, he's like middle-aged guy, and he's a hacker, and he shows the screen.
He pretends to be like a senior citizen, and he has all these like car sounds, like the senior citizen's driving in a car to Walmart. He makes the Walmart sounds when he's inside, but amazing.
That's the one guy I saw do this. I don't know if it's the same guy you're talking about.
Probably
he knows how to hack, and he can get into the security cameras in the office buildings that these, scam shops are in.
Yes.
In the middle of India, wherever, and it's, anyway. But yeah, so these network execs would think that, Susie Q or Johnny, guarantee they're going to be great because they've got, however many million followers, or even in back as recently as like 6 or 7 years ago, people were trying to get deals. And this is true. I have a friend who used to work at one of the big agencies in town, and like the big 4 agencies. There are 4 major agencies. And he worked at one of them, and he'd been entrusted to try to get, business, to get a gig, a commercial, a one line on a TV show for, this person and that person, because they had a few 100,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow. Well, if that's what I have to, I mean, I'm just never going to be that person. I'm not going to walk around with the phone up in my face and mugging and doing stupid shit, or I can't do it. I can't do it.
Right.
I mean, the thing is, all of these things like YouTube or Instagram or TikTok and all of those, like what they're trying to do is like remove gatekeepers, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, the internet has done that. You're right. It has removed
the democratization has removed gatekeepers.
Yeah.
And the product of that is you have lot of like bad artists also making content and getting
So you're
famous.
saying,
At the same time, you also have a lot of good content as well. Like, for example, PewDiePie and all of those people, they don't do things like that. I have a few other YouTubers that I listen to as well. They're very funny. They make fun of all of these stupid skits and all of these Vine. Even though they themselves have come from Vine, they also make fun of a lot of this stupidity. So, I think
it's just like like you said, like removing the gatekeepers. Obviously, that means you get more noise, and you just have to work harder to filter through the noise to get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
In the end.
Well, it's so interesting that that's at the end of the day, that's what the people bitch about the system. I have another friend who's trying to create a new. I don't even know how to call it, but it's going to be a platform online to democratize and to take away all the gatekeepers in the studio and network system. And I would always say to him, I'm like, I love the idea. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to find out that the flawed system, because every system by definition is flawed. I mean,
yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Yep.
Right? Yeah. But a lot of people don't think like that. This is the engineer father that I had coming out in me right now. They don't understand that. Like, doesn't matter what the system is, there's no perfect system. By definition, they're ever evolving, right? Reorganizing at a higher structure. Anyway, so it's like, you're going to find out that, yes, this is a great idea, and that the system is the way it is for a reason.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like, it evolved to this for a reason. Because every fucking Yahoo in the world thinks that they can come to Hollywood and make it. And it's like, you are entitled to your opinion and keep the faith. Yep. And when you get here, you're going to find out, boy, was I wrong.
Right. Right.
And there's a high churn rate in this town, a very high churn rate, because people come out here and they just know that they're going to make it, and it's going to happen in a week or a year. I'm going to give myself a year. And it's so funny. I never hear anyone in other industries or professions ever talk like that. I'm going to give this lawyering thing about a year, and if I'm not on the Supreme Court, well, fuck it. Okay? Fuck it. And it's
is it because it's hard to quantify like what it means to be good in Hollywood? Because I know, like, if I want to be successful in a technical field, you just have to learn that skill and get better at it. And then somehow you'll like there's.
So let me ask you. You're right. That's. Sorry, I'm having trouble with my tripod for whatever reason. Amazing. It helps to be in the industry because your equipment never fails. Let me ask you a question. So you said something that's very interesting and it's accurate. But the presupposition to what you said is that somehow there's no qualification needed to be an actor, a screenwriter, a director, producer, what do you know? You want to work on the crew, a gaffer, a grip, or whatever. Do you have that thought in the back of your mind? Is that what you're talking about? Because, and the reason I'm saying that, I know I'm running my mouth. That's a very, very, very common refrain. You hear that all the time from people.
So I didn't quite understand the last part. So,
do you think you don't need skill to make it in Hollywood?
Well, skill. I mean, no, I do think you need skill. I think what I'm trying to say is that, and yeah, sorry, you can tell me if I'm wrong about that. I don't mind you correcting me.
No, I want to hear. I'm serious. I want to hear what your thoughts are.
So I think you do need skill, but I feel like maybe this is just the outsider talking.
Yep.
There seems to be some kind of there seems to be too many more factors that have to click in order for you to make it in LA or Hollywood compared to making it in like a, I don't know, finance or technology or something like that. Like
let's talk about you. Let's talk about your field.
Yeah. So in my field. Yeah.
Okay, go on. No, go on. I have something to say that will sound very pretentious, so I'll take my time.
Oh, fuck.
Ram says that.
Ram, no, Ram. I got to hear the pretentious. Can we hold your thought?
Yes, do it.
Okay.
Yeah, Satya, we want to hear this.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it okay to be pretentious on your podcast?
If you're not pretentious, I'm going to turn you off in about 3 seconds.
Okay. So everything pretentious starts with the phrase, "Have you read the book?" So that's my first question. Have you read the book Freakonomics?
I have not. No, I am familiar with it though.
Yeah,
okay,
slightly.
So in that book, they sort of explain like 2 different kinds of professions. One is our kind of profession, like engineering, whether it's lawyer, finance, or all of these, where you have like different levels of advancing through the career. You get a degree or something, you learn some skills in college or somewhere, and then you start at the bottom, and you have a very slow progression to the top. Or of course, you have exceptions where people get to the top very fast, or they start companies and all of that. And then you have the second kind of professions where the majority of people in that profession, they have mostly next to nothing. And then you will have a very small amount of people at the top that have almost everything, like sports, for example, or the movie industry, or politics, or mafia. All these, they fall under that category, where it's like the majority of people, they're just trying to like make their ends meet. And then you have, once you make it, you just make it like really big. But of course, I think with the movie industry and all of these entertainment industry, that is sort of changing right now because of Netflix or all these platforms. But for the most part, for a long time, it's been that way. So it's like all or nothing in those industries. Whereas in our professions, it's not all or nothing. You have different levels of success, and you can still keep growing in the organization. There are many levels to it.
That's true. There's a structure. So what do you think, Dar? Is that accurate?
I think it's a lot of horse shit.
End of pretentious rant.
That's a lot of horse shit. Yeah.
Okay.
No, not you personally. I think that Freakonomics.
Why do you think that?
Well, first of all, that's bullshit.
Right.
It's just bullshit, and it's bullshit. It is. It's fucking unmitigated bullshit, and it gets. I don't get angry over it, but it's a button on me, because this is one of the biggest goddamn industries in the world.
Right.
The entertainment industry.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? It's recession proof. It doesn't. It's depression proof. Right. People need entertainment. They need art. They need music. They need lyrics. They need poetry. They need literature. Like they need oxygen and food.
Yeah.
But what happens in our society, globally and nationally, depending on where you are, is that we minimize constantly, denigrate constantly, and devalue constantly artists. And then the conversation goes into what Satya was just talking about, they were referring to in Freakonomics, which got me to get passionate, is that somehow you don't have the talent to make it, or you do have the talent to make it, and it's binary.
Got it.
And it's simply not true.
Right.
Okay, let's stop for a moment. The late, great Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Supreme Court Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she was born with the genetics to become the Supreme Court Justice?
Right. Probably not. Yeah. Obviously
Probably not. Let me help you out. Absolutely
Absolutely not.
not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And absolutely. And
Right.
why do I say that? Because that's the realm, and it's psychological and it's emotional and it's metaphysical.
Yeah.
And that's the real game, and that's the real thing, because you can do and you can be anything you want to, as long as you figure out what it is and then focus on it singularly with intensity and passion, and then you can become that. And I think that you were saying, like, you've got levels in your industry. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Are you trying to tell me the CEO of your corporation is supremely qualified to be there? And let me just give you the short answer. You need to rethink that. Did you know?
I never thought of it like that. Yeah.
Of course you haven't. Then that's why I'm here. How's that for pretentious side?
It's really challenging what I usually know about, like, not what I know, but it's really challenging all the notions I have about.
Okay, now we're on to something. Satya, how was that for pretentious before I go on?
No, it wasn't pretentious.
Oh, thank you. God damn it, I was trying.
Because you didn't start by saying, have you read the book? That's
Duly noted. Thank you, sir. You just said something that is so critical. Now, I told you guys before, and we talked about it briefly, and it's a whole thing, but I was in a cult, and I was brainwashed, and I was under mind control, and it's fucking intense. And ... so are you. Ram.
Yeah,
so are you, Satya. So is every other person on planet Earth. Now, when I just said that, did your butthole just tighten up ever so slightly? Right? Just a little bit. Like,
just a little bit.
What the fuck is this guy saying? I'm very serious.
Yeah.
Right? Now, not to get, all, esoteric and into that whole thing, but back to the point I was making before, that it is a psychological game, and whether you can or whether you can't is your decision, and whatever decision you make, you are right.
Right.
So what are we talking about? We're talking about beliefs, and we're talking about values.
I mean, first of all, maybe I don't know if I explained it correctly. They don't, in that theory that they put forward.
In the book, you mean?
In the book, they never say anything about whether someone's qualified for something or not.
I would suggest that it's not a theory; it's still a hypothesis. But they wrote a book. Yeah, it's a hypothesis. But they wrote a book, and that's another conversation that fits in. No, I'm very serious. Yeah. You write a book and you have it published, even if it's not by one of the major publishing houses, all of a sudden you are an author, a published author, which is an offshoot of the base word of authority.
Authority, okay.
Yeah. No, but I mean, even whether we call it hypothesis.
Which is why I laugh when you say the most pretentious thing is, have you read the book?
That's true. That's true.
For me, it's funny on a couple different levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm very meta that way.
That's pretentious, by the way.
I've already laid the ground for pretentiously speaking right now, not vaguely speaking. So
pretentiously speaking.
So Satya, here's let me suggest you just tell him, you just go, and you are redundant. Because I've already laid the groundwork.
Laid the ground.
All right then. All right then.
They don't say anything about whether someone's qualified for something or not, or that's not their comment. Their comment is that because the book was written by economists. Those two guys are economists.
Yeah, I can't even listen to your conversation anymore. I can't. I'm out. I'm out. Fuck them.
As soon as
they
economists
are. I'm going to push back. They are saying that. They don't even realize they're saying it. I know this. I've had these conversations my entire life. I'm weird like that. And the reason is because I was put in that position where people say these things and I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? Do you think you just show up to Hollywood and go, hi, look at my pee-pee. I want to be a movie star. Like, dude, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way in any industry, but everybody's like, well, they're artists. They're out of their fucking minds. They're crazy anyway. So that's all you have to do is show up and say, I'll fuck you. And then they'll put you in the movie and you're a movie star.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, that narrative is alive and breathing, and it's never going to go anywhere. That's where most people think about. Anyway, sorry, Satya. But yeah, economists trying to talk about all industries from any other view that through their myopic little kaleidoscope of economy. Okay.
No. But then
Satya's digging himself into like this grave, and
no.
I'm kidding. Yeah.
But like for example, during our last discussion, we had the discussion about the SAG Screen Actors Guild.
Right.
But that statistic that you explained, what was that, like 10%?
It was like there are about 150,000 card-carrying members of the Screen Actors Guild AFTRA. Now it's SAG-AFTRA union, which is the actors union. And out of that union, only 5% of the members of let's say 150, 200,000, whatever the number is now, are deemed professional actors. And then you guys are like, wow, 5%, that's it? I'm like, yeah, you want to check it out? What's their definition of a working actor? And you guys were like, what? And I'm like, well, you have to make X number of dollars a year. And you guys are like, what, 35,000? I'm like, what do you think? Oh, I don't know, 20,000. And I was like, no, $5,000 a year.
$5,000. That's
exactly.
right. Yeah.
So only 5% of the SAG union is making more than $5,000. That statistic pretty much like it basically agrees with the hypothesis that these guys have made. You don't think so?
So your point is that in terms of money, like there's a skewness in some industries, like it's skewed heavily in one direction versus in other industries where it's more uniform. Is that
for example,
like, their point, I guess?
If you take engineering as if you sort of try to paint a broad
well, let's say before you go to engineering, stay with the acting thing. How does that statistic of 5% of almost 200,000 members, how does that fit into what they're saying?
Because what they're saying is that the majority of people in that industry will make a lot of, like, maybe I shouldn't like misquote them, but basically what they're trying to say is, when you make it in these fields, whether it's like politics or sports and all that, for a very long time, not for a very long time, but if you divide the people who made it versus who did not make it, and when we say did not make it, it's again different ways of
calling
it. But if we just use like money as one of the KPIs, one of the performance
KPIs, nice.
Yeah, again,
what's a KPI?
Sorry,
Jesus Christ. I didn't know I needed to bring my dictionary. What's going on right now?
KPI is such an engineering. I mean, yeah.
No. Let's just call it like a indicator.
We just lost half the audience, and we only had 6 people to begin with.
Tell them what KPI is, Satya.
It's a key performance indicator. At least it's just a metric. We can just call it a metric.
Okay.
If we just use money as a metric for that.
Just a moment, excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, an engineer who uses KPI to describe businesses is trying to equate Hollywood and the Freakonomics book written by 2 sphincterized economists. We now join the conversation.
Hilarious.
I'm teasing. No, I hear what they're saying. They're saying that there's a small subset that's going to succeed very well. And if we use the performance indicator of finances, of pay, then it bears out that's true. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
that's true.
That always applies.
Yeah, right. Like, who gives a fuck? It's true. You know, like, because here's the thing. I'm going to try to bring this back into to a cohesiveness. What we're talking about and why a book like that takes off and people are like, oh yes, oh that's the thing right there. Oh boy, right? Is it though? Is it? Because what we're talking about is people chasing a dream, people going after a very, very seemingly unattainable goal, or a big one, right? Shoot for the star, shoot for the moon. Yeah. If you miss, at least you're still a star, right? And that scares the hell out of most people. And so since we're from a very young age, we're always told to keep our mouths shut, keep your head down, do your work. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Yes, sir, no, sir. Raise your hand before you speak. Always say thank you and please and yes.
Don't
right?
take risks. Yeah.
Don't take risks. You need the job. You have to pay your bills. Don't be foolish. Are you crazy? When are you going to get married? Really? Really? Okay. So artists buck that. Or probably more fairly is because, you know, that's the perception.
Yeah.
But every artist has to wrestle with that narrative, that fucking horseshit narrative that we all have. And in front of their mind, they've got this thing they want to go do. And let me tell you, that yin and yang, that push and pull between those two is intense. And that's the stuff that I think, and then we're just talking here with podcast, for Christ's sake, but that creates that craziness that people like to label artists. Well, yeah, man, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. Now, let's put that to the side. I watched my parents. I watched my parents' parents. I watched my friends' parents. I watched myself. I watched my brothers, my uncles, my cousins, my nieces, my aunts, my nephews. Whatever business they're in, whatever they were doing, right? They had the same thing going on. And they're doing everything they think they're supposed to do, the way you're supposed to do it, like a good boy and a good girl, right? Like the baby Krishna would want you to do it. Like the baby Jesus would want you to do it. Be a good Jew and do it, right? Whatever your fucking religion is. And they're fucking miserable. And they're coming up against all this stuff that any artist of any successful merit, like they were saying, Satya, in the book, you know, the certain ones make it. There's a reason that so few make it in any industry.
Right.
Because the wrestling of those belief systems, those value systems is intense. And therein lies the hypnotic trance that anyone finds themselves. Doesn't matter if you're going after the Supreme Court seat, the President of the United States, the head of, what's the business you're with, Ram?
I'm in finance.
The head of the finance business you're in, Satya, the business you're in, whatever it is, right?
Yeah. I think so. I also feel, now that you're saying it, I also realize that if an actor wants to be successful, they just can't. I mean, they're trying everything they can, but they cannot think. They should not really think about that statistic, because that's just another limiting factor. That's kind of what you're saying, right?
That's all. That's absolutely.
It's just you can't think about that. And then, you know, you're just saying,
you
I'm
can
not going to do it. Yeah,
you can, but like it doesn't serve you.
It's almost like, exactly, yes.
It's not resourceful. I always tell actors this. You know, it's so funny. I went and I got invited to come and speak at this acting class, and I was like, all right, what am I going to talk about? Because I'm not going to talk about how to act. There's nothing more boring to me. Not my game, not my thing. I know how to do it. I know I can always get better, but I don't want to sit and talk about my craft unless I'm with other actors. And then even then, I still want to put a gun in my mouth. What am I going to talk about? And I was like, the most helpful thing I think I can talk about is how much of a psychological game anything is, but especially if you're going to go in this business. And that, to your point, you can choose to think about anything you want. And so choose wisely. You know what I mean? Choose wisely. Like you just said a couple minutes ago, Ram, you're like, oh, I never thought about that before. I promise you, and this is no disparagement to the CEO of the company you work for, they're no more qualified than you are. They may have more experience in certain aspects, whatever. That's about it. That's about it. You know?
Yeah, for me, it's, I guess I need to get past that kind of thinking where I'm like, oh, I need to work so hard to become CEO, but it's not just that. There's also other things that play into this whole thing.
Well, what do you think would be the first thing you'd have to do? What would be the first question? Yeah.
To become the CEO, you mean, or to become the CEO? Right?
Why aren't you the CEO? Why aren't you the CEO? Let's play the game.
I guess I never aspired to be one in the first place. I never tried hard to be. I never aim to be the CEO of any company, so I just have to stop.
Okay.
But I did, but didn't mean I didn't want to be. Like I still like that idea. But
You like the idea,
I like
but
the
you
idea, but I was
wouldn't. You didn't aspire to it.
yeah, but I was like,
Okay.
it's
Why
too far.
didn't you
It's too
aspire?
far.
That's too far.
Yeah.
What kind of thoughts and feelings come up when you think about it?
Like it's such a long journey, and I don't have experience. That's probably the two big things. Like probably the bigger one is I don't have much experience. I need to get more experience. I need to do work more.
How does that make you feel?
I don't know how that makes me feel.
Is there a feeling in your body right now?
There is some feeling, but
anger, frustration,
there's no anger.
confusion.
I don't think I'm angry about it, but I'm just like,
Satya just got really honest. Did you hear him?
what did he say? What did he say?
I said anger, frustration, and confusion.
Probably more confusion and more frustration than anger. I'm not angry yet, but I might be after this podcast.
Can we continue down this thing? There's a point to it. All
Yeah.
right. So I probably made you a little uncomfortable just now.
Yeah, I mean, you asked me these things I've never even thought about them, and now that I'm thinking about them, just uncomfortable. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So thanks for playing along. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable, even though I knew
I'm good.
I knew it was going to.
Yeah.
But I also think that you know that I'm not being a dick. There's
Absolutely,
a reason.
Yes.
So what I just did was cause you to stop and think about what's really important to you. And that's called your values. No one does this, by the way. No one. The first time I had, when I was working my way out of the brainwashing, the mind control from the cult, this idea, this structure was put before me. Dude, my whole brain just shut down. My emotional life just shut down. And I got angry, to Satya's point, because it confused me. It scared me. And then my knee jerk, my well-worn groove in my brain, my neurology is to fucking start fighting. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. Dar Dixon's the name. So what you just experienced is very normal. That's why I said, did you hear what Satya said? He's right.
Right.
If you're going to hold the idea that you might be the CEO, you're going to have that conversation.
Right. That's right.
And then you have to start asking questions. And it's been said, the quality of your life is based on the quality of your questions. There's a lot of truth to that. It's very simplistic. It sounds trite. It's not. It is simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy, as you just experienced. And
actually, my dad would ask me these kind of questions before, and I would always get very angry with him. Like, why do you do that? So it kind of reminds me of some conversations that I had, and he would never say like, you can't do it. He was always like, you can do more. Like, why aren't you like trying for this and that? I'm like, oh, why are you asking me all these things? I don't want to talk about it. So I just.
Why didn't you want to talk about it? What's the feeling?
I think I'm scared. I'm scared of the whole idea.
That's really honest of you. Good for you, man. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm just scared of aiming for that, and then just what happens if I crash? That's probably the entire whole idea of it is, what if I fail?
Right. Yeah, I think that's and by the way, that's universal, man. I have it every day, at least.
Right.
Every day. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Wow. Absolutely. You're gonna do a podcast? Really? What the fuck are you doing? Stay in your lane. Do what you're doing. What are you fucking what? And it's a pandemic. Your hair's fucking long. You got the house behind. You don't have a studio. You don't have a light. You're in a goddamn hoodie. What are you doing? 100%. It never goes anywhere. It's always there. The difference is for me, and I'm not that I'm the answer or the way of the truth of the light, is that I don't let that shit. It's like, yeah, cool, fuck you, and I'm going to keep doing it anyway because I know I'm going to fuck up. I know I'm going to fuck up. But to your point, like I had the same thing because I told you my dad's Iranian. He was the same way. Like, well, you got a B. Why didn't you get an A? Like, you get an A. Why didn't you get an A plus?
Right.
And it was always like, you motherfucker, can't you just tell me I did a good job?
Right.
right?
Right.
And he didn't mean anything by it. He just wanted more, like you said. And he didn't put anything. That's how he got talked to, and that's how his dad got talked to, and that's how his
Right.
dad's dad got, right. And the
Yeah.
beat goes on. So,
Mm.
but you see what I'm saying? Like this,
Yeah.
we're really
I
drawing
see
this
the.
thing out.
Yeah. I really understood where you're going with this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
do it. You really truly can do anything you
Right.
put your mind to. And
Mhm.
but we always get caught up in those fears and those doubts and that worry. And when those things happen, when someone like Dar starts asking you, how'd that make you feel? Where is it in your body? Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? You get
Yeah.
angry, right?
Yeah.
Because it scares the fuck
Absolutely.
out of you, and you got to protect yourself. So,
Right.
anyway,
Right. Right. Yeah.
anyway.
That was a good exercise.
It actually it really is. You know, I had to do that for myself in this business because there's no rule book, there's no playbook. My way is my way. I mean, it's like that loosely in every industry and every business, but especially in Hollywood.
Mm.
And you know, Satya, I think that's part of the reason. You know, even though the Freakonomics guys do, you know, that hypothesis of theirs kind of plays out. You know, it is because of that. You know, more people don't make it as an actor. You know, you got to really want to do it, and you got to be willing to sacrifice and do whatever it takes to do it. And
Right.
that sucks sometimes.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I just want to go to the beach.
Yeah.
I just want to go out and have drinks with my friends. I just want to go hang out with my wife, my husband, my boyfriend, my girlfriend. I just want to veg in front of the TV, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I
Falling
mean,
into that
all of that
comfort
is
zone. Yeah.
definitely true. There's no doubt about it. But I think that was their point as well. It's they don't mention anything about like I said, it's nothing about like whether one kind of profession is right to choose or wrong to choose. All of that is up to us who's reading
But
it.
they do leave that room for that in the book.
Yeah. They think of them like this. They are just machines who look at numbers. That's all. All they're saying
Oh
is
no, I know. I was having fun too because you know, yeah. No, I
Yeah.
get it. I understand. I was, you know, I pushed back hard on purpose so that we could have this conversation
Right.
because
Right.
honestly, the other thing I learned in you know, not to keep making it about me, but through this brainwashing and this mind control and working my way out of it, it was the toughest thing I've ever done in my life. And I learned, you know, I lost 20 years of my life to a cult. And so time has more value to me, and it didn't have it like it did before. So
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that fucking shit show that I went through. And so anytime I can share something that I know to be true, and you know, I mean, as you can tell, I feel this on a subatomic level. You know, what the fuck are we doing? Yeah, we're having some laughs, and it's a podcast, and who gives a fuck anyway? But at the same time, let's try to make it, you know, real so that
Right.
yeah.
So
there's something there.
yeah. So when what was that moment for you? If you don't mind me asking, when was the breaking point, or what was the moment where you saw like the glitch in the whole thing, and you were like, "Wait a minute, why am I in this cult?" Or, well,
I
you
know
know.
exactly. You guys ready for this? It's a whole thing. I don't know what time it is. How much time? What time? Where are we right now, guys?
I think we're at 1 hour exactly.
We're at 1 hour. Okay, so I'll make this a short one. We'll tighten this up. I don't want to run too long.
Sure.
So when January the 6th happened, the insurrection against the Capitol,
Mhm.
right? In 1996, I'm not going to get into the whole story. I got caught up with members of these groups that stormed the Capitol. And back then they were just called militias. And the FBI was, excuse me, the FBI was warning people, as they always do, and the NSA and the CIA, it's usually the FBI and the Department of Justice, that these radical militias have a lot of white supremacists in it, and they're very pro-gun, and they want to, you know, extract themselves from the government. And that's what they do. And that's what they've been doing. And so I got caught up in that accidentally.
Wow.
but in a very serious fashion. And so much so that I got labeled an anti-government terrorist.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. And that's when I was like, the fuck is going on? This
Right.
shit's out of control. And it happened from a traffic stop that went awry. I got arrested. My buddy got arrested. His wife got arrested, then his girlfriend. And things just went sideways. And we filed lawsuits. We got caught up with these guys who were these militia cats.
Right.
You
And
like,
you
file
know
this
nothing
type of
about these guys.
lawsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, I know. I can see the look on your face. Yeah.
Yeah.
But shit happens. And then, you know, you started out because you just like this group of people and you were disillusioned because you're not making money. You feel like you're losing your voice as a white man in this country. Like, how ludicrous does that shit sound? Right? That immigrants are taking your jobs, and you know, you can't act like a man. You can't act, you know, women can't be women, men can't be men. All this, they start saying this homophobic stuff, you know, all that gay shit and all that, you know, they're trying to change it and blah blah blah.
Turning
and the
frogs
next thing
gay, all of that.
yeah, exactly, you're turning frogs gay and like just insanity.
Wow. Okay.
And then one day you get caught up in having filed this crazy paperwork that you didn't even know what the fuck you were doing, and now you're an anti-government terrorist.
And you have to clean up that mess.
Right. And then, or you find yourself with a fucking Trump flag and a can of bear mace storming the Capitol.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know exactly where those folks live and breathe. So that's where it was. That's where it started.
Wow.
And I was like, I got to get out of here, man. This is insane. And then it was still another like 3 years before I could actually say to myself, actually, I was roommates with a guy who was in the same cult with me, and he had escaped, but not until they had literally shaved his head so he couldn't go out and do any more of his modeling work.
Oh, shit. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And so we'd gotten an apartment together. We lived together for a year in this 2-bed, 2-bath apartment. And we started to talk. And he would be like, hey, do you remember when that one thing happened? That was kind of weird, wasn't it? I was like, yeah, that was fucked up. You're right about that. And I'd be like, hey, do you remember when so-and-so said that? And like, that was that, Jesus, right? Right? And he was like, yeah, that was fucked up. And then finally, 3.5 years later, like we looked at each other, and I still remember to this day, he says to me, dude, I think we were in a cult. And at that moment, I always say the old Charlie Brown cartoons where the teacher's voice in the Charlie Brown cartoons is always wah, 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 wah. And so my buddy Hoyt says, dude, I think we were in a cult. And I, in my head, just kind of went, and then all of a sudden, wah, 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 for like 2 or 3 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. I had a break. I was like, oh shit. In that moment, I realized, damn.
Yeah.
In that moment, I realized, oh shit. In that moment, I realized, oh my God, I've got to get better.
There must have been a little bit of relief also, along with.
Oh no, there's
obviously.
Well, yeah, but relief is like the last thing.
It's a later stage. Yeah, the first
it's the last thing.
Yeah.
The first thing, what I was going to say, interestingly enough, is fear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was scared to death, man. Because I knew in that moment, and all that shit happened in a millisecond. Goddamn, you've been in a cult. Oh my God, I've been in a cult. Oh my God, it's going to take so much work to get better, and I don't even know where to start. Fuck.
Yeah.
But are you, when exactly did this happen? Like, was it like 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
That was in 1999 to 2000.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And I got out. I escaped. I got out of the cult in late '96, October of '96, like the 30th, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I remember the day or anything. I do. I remember the day I got involved with that group. officially, and I remember the day that I got out of that group officially.
Mhm.
And the day I got involved officially was December 15th of 1984.
Hmm.
And the day I got out officially was, and actually it's longer than 20 years, isn't it? I just realized that was October the 30th, 1996. So
Yeah,
that's 22 years.
Yeah, technically, yeah, 22. Yeah.
So once you made that decision, was it like tough to get out, or what? Can't you just stop attending
Yeah,
the
that's what I was gonna say. Like, just
things,
don't
or
go, or I mean, I'm not saying it was just easy to just leave thing and just go somewhere, but
Yeah. It's
can
interesting.
you?
You guys think there was like we were going to like a temple or a church or an
I know
office
that's kind of
building.
yeah, yeah,
That's
I'm
not how
thinking
it
that I'm
works.
exactly thinking like that. I'm like, okay, you're going to a temple every day. Okay,
yeah.
so maybe not go to the temple.
That's
There's
not
usually
how it
some
works at
place
all.
where you guys would like congregate,
But
or
actually,
We live together, man.
wow. Everybody
no,
lived
no,
together.
the
Okay.
whole,
Not everybody, but a lot of us live together.
Wow.
okay.
So
And
yeah, you're
we
connected. Like
worked
you're.
together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
It
hard
was
to
like a
It's hard to like remove yourself from all that.
it
Yeah.
was like a marriage, dude. It's an abusive relationship is what it is.
Right.
And as I learned getting out, abusive relationships are cultic relationships. It's the same dynamic at play. Yeah. So when I got out, I was like, I really understood battered and abused women. I really understood that. And it was so wild. I went to this, it doesn't exist anymore. And it's too bad because it was really wonderful. It was the only place in the United States that was like I don't know, deprogramming from brainwashing thing, how to, heal yourself to get out of the cult. And it lasted 2 weeks, and you had to go to the location and live at the location. And I went to it, and it was the wildest thing. So there's me there, and I was about, how old was I, man? 40, something like that, I think.
Are you talking
Anyway.
about the place where they work with you to like make sure you're doing okay now, like get out of the whole brainwashing thing? That's what you're
Well, yeah,
talking about.
to teach you how to, because you
How to
can't
get out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, because you
Okay.
can't think your way out of mind.
Right.
Sorry,
Right.
you
Got
can't
it.
think your way out of brainwashing. You can't think your way out of mind control, which is why I was asking you, how do you feel? Where's the sensation in your body? That's part of it, and that's acting exercises also. It's like everything's intertwined. Anyway. So as it was like in like around 2000. There was a young girl there who was 14 years old, just beautiful. And she had been sexually abused by her father, and since she was like 9 years old. And he had now started with her sister, who was about 9 years old at the time, or 6 years old when it started. And he would gamble, and he would pay off his debts to his buddies, the guys that he worked with down at the factory, in the plant, and wherever, by giving his daughters to them.
Oh God, yeah.
The second person there was a paranoid schizophrenic with delusions of grandeur who thought he was Jesus the Christ.
Oh God.
Yes. The third person there was a guy who had escaped from a Christian cult and didn't know if he was coming or going. He was like completely not in a good place. And the fourth was a woman about 40 years old. It's so interesting because I can't really remember. I can't even picture her in my mind. But she was in that, she'd had an abusive relationship with her husband. And he just used to beat her. And anyway, horrifying. And I walked in there, and in that moment, I was like, no matter how bad I think I've got it, nobody traded me out for a fucking bad car to hand. I didn't have to take it in the back seat because daddy lost at blackjack or poker. I wasn't getting beaten and branded by my alleged husband. And I didn't think I was Christ. And, you know, wow. So it was very sobering in that moment to see all of that. And then to see, because the second part was I got angry. I was like, what the fuck? What's going on? Right? I thought this was about brainwashing and stuff. And then that's like the beginning of the first lesson happens before you ever sit down with your counselor and start going through shit. You're like, just getting the lay of the land. Yeah. So have I made everybody uncomfortable yet?
Wow.
Exactly.
Probably more than when you asked me those questions.
Exactly. Yeah, it freaks people out, but I'm grateful for all of it. I'll tell you, there's, you know, I don't get scared of or freaked out by, you know, generally conventionally dangerous situations or weird people or scary things, or like it, you know, it would have to be really heightened, you know, really heightened. Yeah. Because the thing, by the way, side note, the night that we got arrested, I had that's a whole story. We don't have time for it. But the cop pulled out his 9mm and pointed it directly at my forehead, and his fingers on the trigger, and he's shaking. Swear to God, he's shaking. And you want to talk about everything just slows down and becomes crystal clear. And I was only focused on that guy. This is a good story. No one believes it, but it's the truth. He starts screaming, and he said, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna shoot you. I'm like, you're not going to shoot anyone. He goes, I'm not going to shoot anyone. I said, you're going to take your finger off the trigger and put your gun back in the holster. I want to take my finger off the trigger and put the gun back in the holster. He was from North Carolina. That's why I'm doing that Southern accent. I said, and then we're going to just calm down and talk about this. He goes, then we're going to calm down and talk about this. And I'm like, did that shit just work?
That's crazy. Yeah.
That's how I got out of the gun to the forehead.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then after that, they beat the hell out of me and my buddy, Rodney King style. There were about 14. I think there were 14 officers.
And
they beat the hell out of us.
14 people, police officers.
Yep.
Oh
my buddy got the worst of it, believe it or not, because, you know, they beat us up after they handcuffed us. Yeah, and I'm white. I'm white. What do you think would happen if it would have been you?
Actually,
right?
Me and Abhi, we have an experience like this, but we didn't get beat up by the cops or no one pointed a gun at us. But we got into a slight issue with the cops in Tennessee. This is one time that I think Ram wasn't even in the US back then.
No, probably wasn't. Yeah.
We had just gotten to the US and we had.
What part of Tennessee were you in?
You know, Gatlinburg.
Oh my God, that's close. That's close to the place in North Carolina this took place.
Yeah,
it's a very that area there from eastern Tennessee to like western North Carolina.
Yeah,
those are hillbilly people.
Yeah.
Literally, those are the hills.
Right, yeah, actually, we were actually going to the Smoky Mountains when that happened. So
I rest my case that those are hillbillies.
Yeah,
it sounds derogatory and whatever. Fine, you know, God bless everyone in Tennessee, but you all know you are a bunch of fucking hillbillies. Okay, that's fine. Just like I'm a stinky Hollywood pedophile, child-eating Satanist, liberal. You're a fucking hillbilly. But yeah. So sorry. Go ahead. So you had some trouble with the cops.
Yeah. So 4 of us, we were in a car going to the Smoky Mountains. We had booked a cabin along with a few of other friends. So there were 2 cars going, and me and Aviram were in the back seat, and there was some kind of a road show going on at that time in Gatlinburg. I think every year or maybe every couple of years, something, they have this thing where everyone brings like classic cars, like hot rods and all that to that town.
Sure.
And so it was like very crowded. The traffic was like moving super slow, bumper to bumper traffic. And for some reason, a cop car pulled up next to us, and they were like, "You guys stop." And okay, we
For
stopped,
some reason.
Yeah.
For some
Yeah.
I wonder what that reason might have been.
Yeah. So I mean, we have no idea why they're even asking us to stop, but anyway.
Damn.
And then
Wow.
the lights and everything, they were just behind us, and they had their what do you call them? The
Sirens?
Not the sirens, like the blue and red lights.
Okay. Yeah, the cop car lights. Okay.
The cop car
Yeah.
lights, they were behind us. And by the way, me and Abhiram, we not just recently, but we had come to the US just a few months ago or something. So this was really exciting for us. We thought like, so cool, we're getting stopped by the cops. So we were in the back seat, right?
Wow.
And just behind
Wow.
us, there were the lights flashing by.
Wow.
So both of us took a picture.
You took a picture? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Like we're giving gang signs and all that, and there is that picture somewhere on the internet. I think somewhere on Facebook.
Oh my God. That's
If
hilarious.
you look for it, you'll find it somewhere on Facebook or something. It's like me and Abhiram, we're giving like gang signs and we're taking a picture with those lights.
You guys were throwing up signs?
Not,
Yeah, they were like
nothing
gangs.
just like this and just like, yeah, nothing like too crazy. It's but it was just like we were really
You
excited.
were
by the
in
fact that-
Eastern Tennessee hillbilly land.
Yeah.
If you go like this, which
No,
is
not
west
that.
side,
No, not
they
that.
think that you're a fucking Crip or a Blood.
Yeah, no, not
They
that. It was
start
just
doing
like,
this, and they're. Are you
it was
kidding
just
me?
this. I think
You
it was
should be
doing
glad
this?
nobody saw you do this. Yeah, nobody saw you do this. You should be glad.
no, yeah,
about
no
that.
one saw that, of course.
Okay.
Of course,
Amazing.
it
We're
was,
doing this. Yeah, we're in America.
yeah,
They lit
it
us
wasn't like
up.
MS-13 or something. It was just this and like this. That's all. So anyway, that was just a side note. That it's somewhere on Facebook. That picture. I think we can find it somehow. But anyway, so the cop is like, he said, he told us the reason why he stopped us. He was like, you guys threw out like a cigarette butt or something outside. Apparently, that's the reason why he stopped us. But we didn't do any of that. In fact, one of my friends who does smoke, or who used to smoke back then, we had like those Starbucks, those Frappuccino bottles, and he put his cigarette butts in that. So we even showed it to him. We're not throwing anything out. The cigarette butts are in that. But anyway,
You still hadn't figured out where you were yet. Okay, got it.
exactly, yeah. So
yeah, you literally had just gotten off the plane a couple of months before. You're not lying.
yeah, not a couple of months, but maybe like a few months. But this was the first time we got stopped by the cops.
Right.
So yeah, and then he asked us not to get out of the car. They're doing all the background checks and everything, and then he calls for a canine unit.
What?
Yeah, he calls for a canine
Seriously?
unit. Yeah,
Okay.
so the canine unit comes up, and then there is like a cop who gets down with a sniffer dog and everything, and he's going around the car, and we're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is this even about? And then he asks us to get out of the car. We get out of the car, and then they search the whole car. And after like 15-20 minutes of searching the car, the cop comes to us and like, he's like, okay, we didn't find anything, but I think there is some weed in somewhere in the car. I don't think you vacuumed it properly or something.
Oh my God.
We were so confused. Like, what the hell are you even talking about? Like, there was, and also if there was something, he wouldn't just let us go that way. He would have totally booked us under whatever.
Yeah, that's true. If he,
done that lightly. So he was trying to just fuck with us, and then he
wasn't trying. He was fucking with you.
He did, yeah. He did fuck with us.
Yeah, I was actively trying. Yeah.
No, but by the way,
doing it. Yeah.
Everyone who's listening to this, wherever you are in the United States of America or the other, I can't speak for the rest of the world, but in the United States of America, the minute you have been lit up, the minute the cops' lights are turned on, you are in effect arrested. You're under arrest. Now, we can argue the legalities of that. I know what I'm talking about because I had many court cases working my way out of that shit show that led to this conversation. If you're lit up, keep your fucking hands at 10 and 2. Sit still, look straight ahead, and talk as calmly as you can, and just cooperate with them. And if they start pulling the shit where they bring the dogs and the this and the
just
that,
comply with that. Yeah.
comply with it, but ask them, am I under arrest?
Yeah.
Even though technically you are, if you're not under arrest, am I free to go?
That's important.
Because what they're doing is that you guys were driving while Indian. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And they're trying to find shit. And that there is a history of that. I can cite it chapter and verse of how that became a part of the public policing of America. It's you're describing what happens to every person of color in America.
Yeah. Right.
That's absolutely what it was. It was like a person of color thing. All four of us were Indian.
100%.
And the only difference was that our reaction was not like violent towards them. We were really like sort of like amused by
confused.
This is like, even though it's annoying, it's sort of like a cool thing. It's like for some reason we're living something that we only hear about a lot of times. So in a way it's cool. So we just kept taking some pictures.
But then even back then we would not hear back when you were in the US and I was not there, things were not, I mean, we would never hear stories about just happened. Yeah. We never heard about this kind of stories about like police brutality or stuff like that. That was not in the mainstream yet. We were just
exactly. The police brutality was not in the mainstream, but the lights flashing behind you was part of movies and TV shows. So that was part of the pop culture. So
this was a time before.
That's
a long
amazing.
time ago.
No, you're right. Yeah, police. This happened in '96, in June of '96, June the 4th of '96. I remember that day too. You get your ass beat like that, trust me. The police brutality wasn't in the white world, right? In the non-black and the non-Latino world, they're like, hello, hello. Like, what are you talking about, white boy? What are you talking about, Indian boy? Duh, right? But the rest of the world's like, oh, that's just terrible. That you're exaggerating. I'll never forget that. I was trying to explain to my family, and one of my brothers said, nobody believes you. I was like, really? Okay. And why is that? No cop put his gun to your head. You didn't get beaten up. What are you talking about? I was like, oh my God.
It's like gut punching. I mean, after going through all of that, the fact that like
they don't believe you.
Yeah, they don't believe you. It's like gut punching.
Well, I didn't talk about it for years, as you may or may not imagine. First of all, it's just, I held a lot of shame and embarrassment behind it, as well as outrage and anger, because I know what was going on, and I know why it got out of control. I didn't understand every aspect of it, but you know what I mean? This was a simple traffic stop, hours, right? And the cop got out of his car, and we're 3 white people, and this is in the hills of Western North Carolina. And he came out of the car, and he was completely inflamed with rage. And he came up to the window, or he came up to the door. My buddy was driving. His girlfriend, now wife, was sitting there, and I was sitting right behind her. And he just fucking ripped the door open and grabbed him by the collar or the sleeve and yanked him out and starts hitting him with the mag light, the flashlight, the big heavy flashlights they have.
Oh God, yeah, those are heavy.
Fuck yeah,
but all of this was just the reason was
there was nothing was said. Once my buddy stopped the car and parked it, he just started to beat the hell out of him in madness.
But the reason he even pulled you guys over was like, were you guys like jumped a signal, or what was it?
Well, so, boy, it's a long story. Okay, I'll make this real. No, it is. It's interesting. I get it. It's just we had been drinking all day, and then we went to dinner, and this was all within a quarter of a mile of where we were living. In this tiny 600 person population town and that's surrounded, surrounds a lake. The girl who I continued to drink, his wife and I were drinking, but he, my other friend, and his girlfriend, the girls and I kept throwing them back. They didn't. The hostess at that restaurant, no one seen. My brother didn't believe this. Nobody believed either. Now, the climate being what it is, and people having cell phones and the internet and videos and everything, now people are like, "Oh my god!" But back then, no one believed me. I mean, fucking the defense attorney didn't believe us. When we had the investigators, they hired the investigators to do the background check. I was in a lot of trouble, folks, by the way, a lot of trouble. I didn't just, like, it was a big shit show. But she, the hostess, was dating one of the cops, and she called the cops anytime she saw someone who had been drinking and let him know on his cell phone.
Oh.
Right. That little town of 600 people, I'm not going to say the names.
Yeah.
I'm not going to of anything.
Right.
They had the highest drunk driving arrest record in the entire state of North Carolina.
Wow.
Right.
The
So police force had 7 cops on the force. That's it. That's how small it was. They were all in on this. They had won the Mothers Against Drunk Driving Award, I don't know how many years in a row, for the entire state of North Carolina.
Oh my God.
Wasn't in Charlotte. It wasn't in Raleigh. It wasn't in Durham. It wasn't in Wilmington.
Right.
It wasn't in it wasn't in Winston-Salem. It was in
like a whole
this
state.
little fucking 600-person town that during the summertime would swell up to 5,000 people.
Okay.
So that's how that happened.
Wow.
So he wasn't drunk, but me and his wife were. And the pretext was that we were on these little tiny winding mountain roads, and he had gotten, he just purchased a Land Cruiser, the Toyota Land Cruiser. So it's like the size of the Range Rover, right?
Yeah.
And these roads are really narrow because it's mountains. You're in the mountains. And so there's no way that you're not over the line. And so it's very challenging. You have to drive slowly when you drive through the mountains and stuff. And even if you're in like in an F-350, a dually truck with the wheels, like that just happens. Right. Well, he said we were over the line. That was his pretext for probable cause to pull us over.
But then he started beating. That's just...
Okay, so the thing is, he lit us up 300 yards from the restaurant. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And instead of just stopping and pulling over, which would have been really dangerous, remember, given the size of these roads, which are narrow, my buddy's like, he put his hazard lights on and drove a quarter of a mile to the house and parked. And by then, this guy just, like I said, dude, he started beating my buddy with the...
I still don't understand why that should lead to like somebody, like anybody beating you up. Like it just, there's like such a big jump from like,
I learned a lot during that the ensuing lawsuits. What Satya described of the traffic stop that he and Abhi encountered in Gatlinburg is textbook policing. And it's completely fucked up. You were racially profiled, and they're trained to be that way. And they're trained by giving them skewed numbers. So you're you're cherry picking.
They're brainwashed.
Yeah.
I just was going to say, this whole thing's coming full circle. They're brainwashed and they're trained. And to back that up, we'll not go down there because you guys can do the math. I could talk about this for hours. It fucking blew my mind when I saw how fucked up the policing system is, how corrupt things are, how racist shit is, how violent these fuckers are, how little training they have, the testing that they do for police officers. And I hope someone pushes back and says something to me in the police union. Please, you corrupt motherfuckers. Okay? Name another fucking thing that has so much power and danger and law behind it, like policing does, that doesn't have a separate body governing it. When the police officer kills someone unjustly, look, Satya, what if you fucking, what if Abhi took a bullet to the head that night?
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you know what would have happened? They would have went before a police commission made up of current and former police officers.
they have
Do
those
you
unions
think
and
maybe,
everything.
right, we can all talk the spit and polish and, truth and justice and law and order until we're blue in the face, but let's be honest.
Yeah.
Why did you guys get pulled over? Right.
One big reason for that, the unions, they're not holding people accountable, and it's
because they don't listen. If they let it accountable, they'll be crossing the thin blue line.
yeah.
Everybody knows the system's rigged with the cops. Everyone knows. White people don't ever want to talk about it, don't ever want to admit it. This white boy will. But you go into the communities where they're affected by this, and just because they're driving while black or driving while brown, driving while Indian, driving while Asian, right? You're going to get grief. They bring the dogs. Really? The dogs? Oh, I know you got weed in there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Are
How
you
the hell would you
alleging that
know
there's
that?
weed?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Right?
that was the whole leap. Like, where did, like, what was the cause? What gave you the feeling that there was weed in there? And okay, let's say due to multiple reasons, he suspected that. After the search, when he did not find anything, is it too much to say, okay, maybe we were mistaken, you guys can go on?
That was never
why did he
said,
have
was
to
it?
drop that line at the end saying that, oh, you guys didn't vacuum properly? I think I see a little bit of like.
That's the
Like,
part where you're
that's
like,
like-
yeah.
Can't you at least accept that, like, okay, maybe we made a judgment call?
And
or
it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Nobody's gonna come
Yeah.
behind them, and
Exactly. Yeah. It was dark also, so I can understand if he saw another car throw out something and he thought it was us. I'm just saying maybe
Bullshit.
there was all those
Bullshit.
possibilities, but the line at the
Bullshit.
end was sort of like, which made us like.
So why do
realize
you
that
think he said something like that at the end? Because
I
I
think
know,
he just wanted to justify it.
I'm pretty sure exactly why. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Why do you
I
think?
think he just wanted to justify that whatever he did, he didn't. Want
Part of it is that what I found in the information that we got back from the investigators. We had to hire private investigators, numerous lawyers. It was you guys have no idea. It was a whole thing because it's so fucking corrupt. I will say this before I go any further. The final outcome was they disbanded that entire police department.
Oh shit. Yeah. Good. Nice.
There was only 7 officers with the chief, right? But they got rid of all of them because they were all dirty.
Wow.
Which think about that. Think about that.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the largesse of my friend's father, there's no way I could have paid for that. There's no way. And I was looking at 3 months in prison for trumped up charges. They alleged that I beat the cops up. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? My face, my ribs, my back, my head, my knees are destroyed. My shirt's torn. My nose is bloody. What are you guys talking about? And that's what happens to people of color all the time. And that's why they do this. The whole thing is rigged. The whole thing is skewed. The whole thing is bullshit. It's based in race. It's based in oppression, And the reason the guy says that to you is partially to cover his ass.
Yeah.
If anything ever happened, because after talking to you for a while, oh, that's not an N word. He's one of them turban heads from India. Them fuckers are smart. Better cover our ass here. Well, you must have not vacuumed well enough. That's what the dogs were picking up on, right? The other part of it is if he's an especially aggressive piece of shit, which he may or may not have been. I don't know. He's trying to get a reaction out of you.
Yeah.
And then he gets that reaction out of you, then old boy gets to escalate it. That's right.
Oh,
he definitely failed miserably in that department because
you guys remained cool, which is
that's
because
true.
We were amused by
that
all
saved
of this.
your life. You guys were amused by it, like, oh,
that's
fuck,
true.
this
Even
is
if
cops.
And if one of your friends, like Satya, on that day, one of your friends suddenly reacted, like,
Actually, one of us in the car, Raidu, was getting a little angry, but he didn't show any of that.
Yeah, lucky that it could have escalated.
I'm telling you,
something
man.
else. Yeah.
I'm telling you, you were that close.
Yeah.
that close. For him to throw that last little comment out,
Yeah.
I lean into he was trying to get a rise out of you because they at that point you guys had probably been sitting on the side of the road for at least 45
Oh,
minutes to an hour.
that's right. That's
Yeah,
right. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
In an enclosed space with the high beams on, with the spotlights on, and the
Yeah.
lights going, and dogs everywhere, and cops standing on the fucking aggressive, one hand on
Oh
the
my
holster.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah, thinking about it
exactly.
makes me like uncomfortable. Yeah.
I just saw that happen. Yeah. Anyway, guys, that's the long story. Brainwashing and mind control exists everywhere, and it
Yep.
would behoove everyone to ask themselves, what do I really want to do? Who do I really want to be? How do I get what I really want? And then go for it and just work through those fears and doubts. Everyone's got them. Everyone.
Perfect.
Yeah, man. Well, we missed Abhi. I wish he was here.
I know.
I wish he was
He
here.
would have probably added some more silliness to the conversation.
He was in the car. That would have just been another, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Edomapichi.
Edomapichi. That's right.
And what's the language you speak again? What dialect?
Telugu.
It's Telugu.
Telugu.
Yeah.
Right on. Did you just fucking Telugu me?
Telugu.
Is that what you just did, Satya?
May have happened. It's very.
I did that?
I looked like you did for a brief second, and I had to jump
You
in.
could
and
maybe
make
you
a
noticed
bad
like a
joke.
little bit. Maybe it's just that small
He
part
did. He
of
was
us.
Telugu, just ever just so slightly.
Telugu.
He could have.
Telugu?
You could have. Yeah, you could have. Who knows?
Exactly. You know, the Iranis do the same thing. Like, hey, Baba. Oh wow. Yeah. Oh wow.
I have
We
to
shake
keep
our
up with
heads
the
too.
legacy. So I need
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do that.
exactly. Guys, man, thanks for being on this show. We might have to do another one just to have Abhi on and have
Yeah.
the true
Sure, yeah.
trifecta of Edomapichi.
Yep. Absolutely.
That sounds great, yeah. It
This
was
is
fun
this is
talking to you
fantastic.
again.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always fun. I'm so glad we met.
Really, I'm very happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll have a
Absolutely pleasure.
conversation again soon.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
See you.
Hey,
See you there.
just like you did in the back of the cop when the cop car had you pulled over. Yeah, fuck yeah, we're in America. See you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.